and welcome to A's Linguistics. This channel is about all things linguistic. So let's see what we've got today. What is a sentence? We know that syntax is the study of sentence, and we know that sentences are made of words. There is a structure to the sentence. Structure in the sense that there's order, but there's also hierarchy. You know the structure we had at morpheme level within the word? There is a similar structure at sentence level, in the sense that a sentence is not just a random sequence of words. Actually, words, sometimes before becoming part of the sentence, they are organized into smaller units. And then it's only those units that become part of the sentence. So you see, there is this hierarchy that first you're a word, then, of course, we're thinking at word level. We know that there is some structure to the word itself. But the words become part of the sentence, but before becoming part of the sentence, they may become part of a unit, and that unit will be part of a sentence. So those units are important in themselves, in the sense that they are also something that is studied in syntax. That's part of syntax. And those units have a name. They're called constituents. So these constituents then come together and they make up the sentence. We know that every language has a dictionary that lists all the words, but there's no dictionary that lists all the sentences. Words constitute a finite set, but sentences are infinite. So you can apply a finite set of syntactic rules to a finite set of words and create an infinite number of sentences. Again, going back to the constituents, if you start at word level and you say the words are the building blocks of sentences, then you have the sentence level. You can think of constituents as an intermediary level between word level and sentence level. To put it in other words, you can say sentences have a constituent structure. Somebody who saw everyone in the organization says that John interviewed Bob. So this is a complex sentence. There is a big sentence, and within the sentence there is a smaller sentence. You could just say somebody says that John interviewed Bob, but then you can qualify somebody with who saw everyone in the organization. So this is one way you can expand a simple sentence into a complex sentence. And since you can apply this infinitely, theoretically there's an infinite number of sentences even starting with this. So here in this sentence, somebody who saw everyone in the organization is a unit. This is a constituent. How do you know it's a constituent? For one, you know that it has an independent unit. So you know that you can take this out of the sentence. It still works, but there are more objective ways of figuring out what constituents are, which we will cover in later videos. If I take out of this complex sentence is semantically independent and it makes sense because it is a constituent. You can also say that's another sentence within this bigger sentence. So John interviewed Bob is again another constituent. But if I only take, that's also a constituent, but if I take the organization says that, that's not a constituent. Or if I take out the words in the, they're not a constituent. They don't have an independent unit. So it even sounds odd to a speaker of the language why you would take out those words. I gave you examples of things, words that together are constituents in this sentence and words that are not constituents. The boy planted a flower in the garden. So this is a meaningful way of dividing the sentence into constituents, in the sense that I cannot do two branches and say the, and then on the other side say boy planted. But I can say the boy and then planted the flower in the garden. And then the boy, I can do two branches again. And then planted a flower in the garden. There is a way in which you can put words together first before you put them in the sentence. And then a flower, and then in the garden, and then the garden. So this is not so much about constituency, this is about the hierarchical structure of sentences. So what does hierarchy mean here? It means, for example, the words the and garden, before they become part of the sentence, they have to enter a hierarchy. First they come together, they form the garden, then they come with in the garden, then they come with planted a flower in the garden. It's only then that they become part of the sentence. So there is a step-by-step process to integrate the word garden into the sentence. You can't just randomly put sentences together. So the last thing about constituents is that constituents, like words, belong to categories, to syntactic categories. For example, somebody who saw everyone in the organization is a noun phrase, NP, and it functions like a noun. That John interviewed Bob is a complementizer phrase, and here functions like a noun. Thanks for your time and attention, and see you again soon.